Okay, today for math, we're going to be on, let's see, page 461. So, that made it worse. Let's try that again. 461. So, if you're not on that page, pause the video and get a chance to get there. Okay, so today is called Think Addition to Subtract Tens. And I'm going to open it up here for us to see and write on. All right, this says Nate wants to read 60 pages of a book. He has read 40 pages, so it means he's already done that part. How many more pages does Nate need to read? And actually, let me plug in my headphones. I think you'll hear my voice a little bit better. All right. How many more pages does Nate need to read? So that's the first thing that I see. That's a big sign. How many more? When I see the words, how many more, it usually means to subtract. Ding, 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 subtract. How many more? So what they've told us is, we know there are 60 altogether. He's already read through 40 of them, so we're going to subtract those 40 he's already read. How many more are left? Now, it's letting us know that we could use addition to find the difference. So it's saying, think, what plus 40 equals 60? Okay, they've got 60 minus 40, right? So blue minus green. They're just going to flip it around. And they're going to say, oh, okay, well, we know that the 40 is here. Let's move this down here and change it to adding. Now, in my brain, that sounds pretty confusing. So I wanted to show you how it's something that we've actually already done, and it's not that confusing at all. It's just that we've done it in a different way. We have seen it like this. 60, 40, and something. This is our fact family, fact families, remember? So we can always say that these two numbers added together, these two numbers added together will make a total of this amount. Or I can say this one minus that one equals this one. Excuse me, over here. Or I can say this one minus that one equals this one, right? We're using the same three numbers. And the best part about this is because we can just take off these zeros and not look at them for now. And we know that there's going to be a 0 over here. We're just not going to look at it, okay? So now my fact family has become 6, 4, and blank. So I can either say 4 plus something equals 6, right here. Or I can say 6 take away 4 equals blank, or 6 take away blank equals 4. 4 plus what equals 6? It is 2. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And that's something that we just know in our brains. So that means that I can say, oh, well, once we've put those zeros on, I know that this number must be 20. And so I know that 60 minus 40 equals 20. Or I can say 60 minus 20 equals 40. Or I can say 40 plus 20 equals 60. Or 20 plus 40 equals 60. Remember, I can write 4 problems. Let's see here. Let me erase these. I can write 4 problems for every single fact family. So I'm going to say 40 plus 20 equals 60. That's those same 3 numbers. I'm going to switch these two. 20 plus 40 equals 60. Now I'm going to start with the top one. I'm starting with the biggest one to subtract. So I'm going to say 60 minus, let's go on this side, 40 equals 20. I'm still starting with the biggest one, just like I end with it for adding, I'm going to start with it for subtracting. 60 minus, let's switch these two, 20 equals 40. These are the 4 problems that I can make with my 3 numbers every single time. So it always has the same number at the end of the adding, right? Because we're adding to get the biggest part. And then it always has the same number at the beginning of subtraction because we need to start with the biggest number to subtract. And that's what we have to remember. If we're subtracting, we start with the biggest number. So let's go back and look at what they wanted us to do. So all they've said is, okay, the 60 was up here for subtraction, right? We're starting with the biggest number. So instead, they want us to think about it down here as the answer in an adding problem. So it looks the same as what we just said. It's just these are tall and we wrote ours long. So they're saying if you have the problem 60 minus 40 equals blank, you can turn it into blank plus 40 equals 60. Because I know this big number, to start a subtraction problem, can be my biggest number, my answer at the end of an addition problem, okay? And so then when I'm seeing it like this, I'm thinking, okay, blank plus 40. So really I'm going to pretend those zeros aren't there. Blank plus 4 equals 6. Oh yeah, 2 plus 4 equals 6. And now let me put my 0 on, because we're just talking about 2 tens. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to draw on him. Hopefully that's making some sense now that we've seen it with the fact family, okay? So number 1, 90 minus 20. So they switched the problem, okay? Your biggest number is going to come down here to be the answer. What plus 20 equals 90? Or what, how many tens? Blank tens plus 2 tens equals 9 tens. Blank plus 2 equals 9. Oh, I know that. 7 plus 2 equals 9. And if I have 7 tens, it's really 70. Okay? It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And then I'm going to make the other two a different color to see. 8, 9. Okay? So, we said what plus 20 equals 90? Well, if I already had the 20, I could just keep counting. I could say, oh, okay, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, I've added these 7 here for my 70. Okay, that's how we're getting this 70 when we're just thinking of sevens. Go ahead and trace that answer here. So let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 80 minus 50. If I don't remember what 80 minus 50 is, I can flip it around. What plus 50 equals 80? And really, I'm just going to think in tens. Let me take away those zeros. I know there's going to be a 0 here, but I don't need to think about it right now, okay? So, blank plus 5 equals 8. What plus 5 equals 8? You're right, 3, which really means that this answer is 30. So 80 minus 50 equals 30. Don't forget to put these zeros on your answers on the page. If you only put 3, it doesn't make sense, because if you only put 3, it would say 3 plus 50 equals 80, and that's wrong, because 3 plus 50 would be 53. So make sure you have that 0, okay? Now they've written them tall, and when it's tall, you can kind of see how they switch places. So this 40 moves down here, right? And then our question is actually what's come up here. So 40 minus 10 equals blank. So now we're saying something plus 10 equals 40. Or something plus 1 equals 4. What plus 1 equals 4? 3. So I'm going to put a 3 right here. Go ahead and add my 0. 30 plus 10 equals 40. And now I'm going to put the answer one more time right here on the page. So that means that 40 take away 10 equals 30. Remember, just don't look at that 0 when you're doing these problems in your brain, and you'll see. If I were to mark all of this out, don't do this on your paper, please. I can see that the problem just looks like 4 minus 1 equals 3. That's an easy problem we know how to deal with, okay? Last one. 50 minus 40 equals blank. So it's switching spots, right? So now I'm going to say blank plus 40 equals 50. Blank plus 4 equals 5. What plus 4 equals 5? 1. And then write my 0 in the ones place. So my answer is really 10. So I'm going to write the 10 right here. Now, let's look at the next page. You're going to do this side on your own. Use addition to find the difference. So you're still having the two different answers there on all those problems. You should do problem solving on your own. You do not need to do the write about it today. And you are skipping this page unless it's not making sense. If it doesn't make sense, please use this to get a little extra practice, okay, to help you out. And then we're doing the homework page, because the homework page is something you should be able to do on your own, okay? And that's it for math today.